Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We do have our first major EZA for part 1 of the worldwide celebration. Providing us with a translation is Minato's Flash, so I will leave the links down in the description for him. And it is for the INT legendary Super Saiyan BROLY. I did think they were going to EZA him, also the Tech LR could still get EZA'd later on in the celebration in part 2, etc. So I would hold out for that as well. But this is the first EZA we're getting. I have heard some concerns about his EZA, so I'm really intrigued to see what they've done with him. Some people have even compared him to INT Goku Black from last year, which surely he can't be that bad. But we're going to go through his details. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments if you think he's good, if you think he's bad. And let's go through this. So he will lead planetary destruction or movie bosses with Ki +3, HP attack and defense +170. On super attack will greatly raise attack by 50% and raise defense by 30%. Cause immense damage to the enemy, and on his passive will start the turn off with Ki +3 attack and defense +260, reduces damage received by 26% and a chance of performing a critical hit by 26% as well. Launches an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack and defense +26% when attacking. Gains an additional Ki +3 and launches an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack and reduces damage received by 18%. And chance of performing a critical hit +18% when attacking as well, when there is a Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, or Movie Heroes category enemy. And then finally, will launch an additional super attack, which is guaranteed and reduces damage received by 15% and a chance of performing a critical hit +15% when attacking, when the facing enemy whose name includes Goku. I'm not gonna lie, I get where the concerns come from because you have, I wouldn't say very restrictive, but on first glance looks like restrictive conditions. You know, you need a Pure Saiyan, Hybrid Saiyan, or a Movie Heroes, and then to get this, to tie it all together, it needs to be specifically just a Goku. However, don't forget, this is a stacking unit. This is a stacking unit with a built-in 50% chance to additional. Then another additional down here, which is 70% chance, which I'm not going to lie, Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, and Movie Heroes, but primarily these two here, fill up the majority of the enemies in the game right now. Mainly when it comes to Supreme Magnificent Battle. They fill up this portion of the game. Not to mention the whole new Supreme Magnificent Battle we got going on right now contains all three of these, to an extent. Every enemy is going to be a Pure Saiyan, but so far we've had all Gokus. However, stage 3 is Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, which actually falls into the Movie Heroes portion. There's going to be more Goku enemies. From what has been teased from the latter stages we're getting for that new Supreme Magnificent Battle, Broly's going to be there, which is also a Pure Saiyan. That's an entire event where this EZA can thrive. If we think about other content that's in the game right now as well, Beast Gohan, one of the hardest enemies in the game, he's a Hybrid Saiyan. The only one currently right now that doesn't fit into this conditional part of Broly's passive is Goku and Frieza when we eventually get them to finish off the Universe Survival Saga Supreme Magnificent Battle as well. And don't forget, there is future Supreme Magnificent Battles to drop, which seems to be focusing a bit more on superclass enemies, which is going to be Pure Saiyans because there's Goku, Vegeta, going to be Hybrids because there's Gohan and Trunks, and Movie Heroes because all of them fall into the same brand and will fall into that category as well. Even if you want to go for like something really specific, like a superhero themed move, like Supreme Magnificent Battle, you've got Beast, you've got Orange Piccolo, you've got Gammas, they will fall into Movie Heroes. So right now it may seem a little bit on the restrictive side, but if you really deep it, any further difficult content we get, mainly being Supreme Magnificent Battle because Red Zone is more on the extreme enemy side, you will more than likely branch into these categories and it won't be that restrictive as it first seems on the glance. This one here, as it's specifically with a Goku, again, maybe outside of Supreme Magnificent Battle when you have Red Zone and maybe some other difficult content, you know, you may not get that Goku enemy, so you may miss out on the 15% damage reduction, 15% crit chance. But from what we've seen recently, Dokkan is going heavy on dropping new Supreme Magnificent Battles, and if you're facing Gokus, again, primarily this new one is filled with Goku enemies, and no doubt one of the hardest fights in the game will either be Broly or Goku. So this has a 50% chance of happening with the current, one of the most current Supreme Magnificent Battles we have going on, and will probably be one of the most difficult fights in the game. Then any further ones they make, again, This one's specifically a Goku, so this one's a little bit more restrictive. But again, you're looking at Goku's, Vegeta's, Trunks, Gohan's, maybe Orange Piccolos, and again, the Gammas, etc. outside of that. But for the most part, will be Goku, because he is the main character. And even on the final stages we're waiting for the Universe Survival Saga Supreme Magnificent Battle, you're facing an enemy whose name includes Goku in Goku and Frieza. Yes, you have to wait until the final part of the fight because you face like 17 etc. in there. But that does include a Goku enemy. So while this part of the passive, I will give you that, is a little bit more restrictive, the rest of it's quite easy to get. I say rest of it, this part here is quite easy to get. So Broly's not only stacking by 50% attack and stacking 30% defense. I mean, that might be the only qualm with this one of being a bit more restrictive, is maybe they both could have been 50%, especially with all the possible additionals in his passive. Then moving on to skill orbs and dupe system, where you get another additional from there. Maybe this could have been 50% and I probably would have been happy. But he gives me Ultimate Gohan vibes. Maybe not the exact same, but he reminds me a lot of the EZA for Tech Ultimate Gohan, which if that's the case, then he's going to be very good, especially partnered up with the new Carnival LR. And then not only that as well, he's going to be on teams where you have a lot of support, Team Turles, Broly, Chilai and Lemo, Kid Buu, then there's 9th Anniversary Broly's Domain. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to be just fine and he's going to perform really well. I said this might be the only restrictive part of his passive, but for the time being, there is difficult content focused around Goku. Because you're looking at 26% damage reduction he just has. This isn't too difficult to get off, so you're looking at another 18%, which takes you up to what? 44% damage reduction while he's stacking. And if there is a Goku enemy, which again, specifically this whole Supreme Magnificent Battle has 95% Goku enemies in, you're then looking at a total of about, what, 59% damage reduction, is it? I think it's 59% damage reduction or 60-something% damage reduction while he's stacking. So yeah, this Broly's fine. I don't know how people are comparing him to Goku Black from last year. Definitely not. Is he a little bit restrictive with the final portion of his passive? Yes, a little bit. But we'll see what happens with any future content we get. But I think he looks good. I think he looks very good. Very reminiscent of Tech Ultimate Gohan. And I can't wait to try him out. As I said, he goes on categories, of course, with a ton of support. Carnival LR Broly, 9th Anniversary Broly's Domain. I think he's in good hands. But you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care of the rest of your day. And peace.